Defended my daughter for standing up to a bully who physically threatened her at camp. Now my family accuses me of promoting violence. My kid, F13, has a bully. He's one of those kids who's related to someone in the school district. We've has multiple issues with this kid harassing mine, but my kid is bullied a lot sadly. We're actually switching her into a new school because the public schools have done nothing, and this past semester it got physical. The bully pushed her and she stumbled back. Fortunately only scratches, but I was livid. The bully got suspension, but he's been suspended before. I tried talking to the parents and they make excuses, of which the wildest is that they'll probably end up together someday because of how they argue. I told them under no uncertain terms that their son is not to even look at my daughter, and his only words to her need to be an apology. I got the "well, he's suspended, so what else do you want?" argument. This summer she was in STEM camp. She begged to be signed up, but so was the bully, and this time, during their outdoor break, the teacher was physically on his phone when the bully, in full view of multiple students, pushed my daughter and she turned and punched him in the stomach. The bully is now up for possible suspension from the camp, not the district, but I lodged another formal complaint, this time threatening a lawsuit. I asked my daughter if she defended herself, and she said she was afraid he was going to hurt her because he threatened to knock her out. I said okay. Good job defending yourself. Glad you're okay. Let's just catch a movie and decompress. I told my siblings on Father's Day and was immediately told by my eldest brother and his wife that I should never have encouraged her to fight anyone. I argued that I didn't. I am glad she defended herself when she was scared and the person I trusted, her character, was not even paying attention. They argue that now she will see punching people as okay the next time she gets her feelings hurt, that I am a bad parent for opening that door. Am I? I mean, if she's in trouble and in physical danger, I don't want her to ever think she will get in trouble for defending herself, but now I'm second guessing everything. She's seemingly okay now, and I took the week off so we can celebrate Juneteenth together and just decompress from it, but I want her to grow up and be safe. Am I top for saying good job? Holy shit, that's a lot of comments. Editing some typos and also clarifying some questions and assumptions, as I can't answer that many comments tonight. 1. Multiple students confirm her story. So no, I don't think she's lying and started a fight for no reason. She's as level-headed as they come, and I won't say she's never lied to me, but I will say I tend to know when she does. 2. Cameras are being checked because I formally requested today. Update 1. So about a week ago I posted about a bullying sitting with my kid who is F13. And I mentioned this bully as a relative of someone who works high up in our district. I went into a meeting with the district after my formal request for the camera footage of the event, and I continued to follow up via email and call but kept getting stonewalled. I was frustrated, so I spoke with my BFF who works in education, and she suggested a police report would put a Bunsen burner under their asses. She was right. Once I had a copy of my report for the assault and armed with all my past complaints and emails with the resource officer of the kid's school, I sent it to my point of contact with the district. It's a freaking miracle, I got a call the same day. A meeting was arranged and I meet with them next week. Juneteenth was wonderful, and my kid had a blast. She hasn't been punished, and honestly, I was really enjoying spending time with her, so we took advantage of the time, saw a movie, went shopping, etc. I work a lot and I'm a single mom, so free time outside the general weekends has been rare as of late, especially now that she's doing camps, making friends, and wanting to do sleepovers and such. I posted some photos on my private account and my brother sent me a text. I won't go into everything, because his message was long, but basically he said I am spoiling her when she should be punished for fighting in school and I will be raising a criminal. I told him that he can mind his business and his own children, and he said she's not even really yours, and I lost it. My message back was that he's not been supportive since my husband died, and come to think of it, he wasn't supportive when we married. So I don't take his opinion on my daughter with any high regard. And if he and his wife want to instill in children that they should let someone hurt them or others and bullies should have their way, then maybe it's time we spent less time around them. We were going to go to the birthday party for my Sil before all of this happened, a family event. I think my daughter and I will skip that for now. And before it's asked, she is not biologically my daughter but legally, and in the way of the fact that I love her more than anything. I formally adopted her when she was 2 after I married her father. He passed away when she was 6 and I've had sole custody since. Her biological mother is not in the picture. Since my husband passed, it's just been me and her in the day-to-day. I hope to update after the school meeting. Update 2. We had the meeting over Zoom. I came in expecting to have to come in guns blazing like a maniac. I was ready to go off, go fully feral. But I guess all the legal work I've been doing around this was sufficient fire under their rears. I was indirectly asked to not further involve authorities. The footage finally found proved my daughter's story. With this evidence and all the stuff I've managed to bring to the table, plus having a lawyer's contact info sent to them, they finally expelled the kid. I was assured he will not be at school next semester. It was a win, but not enough for me to stop the legal actions. Maybe that makes me the but. Fuck it. I don't care. Charges are being pressed for assault armed with the video. Here it's not life-ruining unless he keeps the pattern of abuse, but I am also looking to get my kid in a STEM-oriented school since that's her passion right now. I looked at packages and tuitions etc. and it will tight but doable, and I truly believe she's gifted/smart/hard working enough that giving her a chance to explore this is worth any inconvenience. That should be it, right? Oh, you sweet summer child. My daughter doesn't even know about the meeting. She's been happily in camp elsewhere during the day, but a few days ago she asked me, Mama, do you think I'm a bad person? And I told her that I didn't. She asked me why does her uncle think so? I asked what she meant. My beloved brother's stepson has been texting my daughter as they are actually close. Brother has been shit-talking my kid. He calls her my stray kitten and not real family. That fucking did it. I am having a barbecue at my place for July 4th and I formally uninvited him and his wife. I sent him a text stating that the way he treats me and my kid is simply unacceptable. I am a mom and my duty is to my kid. I cannot have someone who looks down on her and treats her badly come into her home where she is to be safe. He is not a safe person for my child and thus not welcome in my home. My brother lost his mind on me so badly I had to mute his number a while to get some peace. He started with put-downs and insults but then he went for my kid. He called her some terrible things and then said that I am brain dead for keeping my stray after all the trouble she's made. I just asked, wow. What is your problem with her, really? You're doing the fucking most to hate her. Like, how does a grown man get off hating a literal child? He told me to fuck off. So I sent screenshots to Mom. Yeah, I tattled. I'm grown. Don't give a shit anymore. Fuck this guy. He's my brother. I love him, but I do not like him, and if he's going to show his whole ass, may as well fetch Mom so she can pull his stick out of it. That was an hour ago. My kid and I headed out for pizza. Have fun, bro. He better be glad it's our mom and not me about to hand him his own hind. Tonight I will try to talk to my daughter about the school and sadly that Uncle and Annie are grade A liquid shits. I won't use that phrase but I'm pissed, and so won't be around and we may be taking some time just her and me. We are a team. Me and her against the world. I will always have her back. Oh, and she and I will together be taking Krav Maga. Thanks for the suggestions. With the bully dealt with, I think this is my final update, so I wanted to say thanks to everyone who kept this mama sane and were supportive. It's crazy how simple, kind and affirming words can bolster a person. For those who've shared stories of being bullied, I'm sorry you went through that, and as for your bullies? Update 3, I am without words. A couple days ago I told my eldest brother Mark and by proxy also his wife Julie to stick it where the sun don't shine after Mark went on a text storm about my adopted daughter. For background, my daughter Vivi may not be biologically mine but she is my daughter. I've known her since her first year of life, I've been her mom since. I married her father when she was too small to even really remember and legally adopted her. She's only always ever called me mama. When my husband passed away, it became me and her against the world. The dynamic duo. Recently Vivi didn't start a fight but finished it with a bully she'd endure for much longer than she should have had to. The whole saga is on my account if you want all those details, but the short is she ended up defending herself from him physically. He's now expelled. My daughter was not punished at home. In fact I told her good job on defending herself. That's where my butt-crack brain brother got on his bullshit. He never liked my late husband, unless our daughter, and always had something rude to say about them. But this sent him into a huge tirade on how Vivi will grow up to be a criminal, that I'm encouraging violence, and the next time she gets her feelings hurt she will think it's okay to start a fight. Julie said she is concerned because single-parent households produce angry and bottled-up children who are FSR more likely to end up in jail. I told them I never asked for their opinions and the rest of my siblings agreed with me. But my brother wasn't done. He texted me vile things about my daughter and his stepson sent video and screenshots of my brother calling her a stray kitten, his apparent favorite insult, and saying that she is not my child and so on. I uninvited him to my 4th of July barbecue, told him he is not to talk to or even look at my child until he fixes his attitude, and he just doubled down. Let me be clear. He is the eldest but he is adopted too. He is biologically my cousin. 2 of his 4 kids are stepchildren. Julie is a widow. His hypocrisy is breathtaking. So I had my daughter send over all the evidence she had and delete it off her phone, and I took all my screenshots and the like and sent it to my mom. I snitched so hard. I don't have time for this bullshit. Don't know what she said to him, but she called me back that night a few hours later and told me to let her know if he decides to show his whole ass again. She talked to Vivi on speaker while I finished making us some treats before bed and told her that she loves her very much, that Uncle Mark is being a jerk, and if he or Aunt Julie try to bother Vivi or I again to tell her. It rained like crazy on the 4th, so my barbecue only had a handful of folks who lived near me from the family and some friends. Vivi was happy, kicking her other uncle's asses at Mario Kart, and all the adults are drinking and dancing or watching the rain on my porch when who walks in? Mark. Julie. They're 4 kids. Julie strolls right up to me with a whole-ass chicken and asks where she can put it down. I was like, sorry, what? I asked her what she was doing here and why they were there. Apparently my dear old bro didn't tell her about our most recent spat and the invitation being revoked. She looked truly shocked. I'm livid by this point, but the kids are playing video games and Vivi looks happy. She's pointedly ignoring my brother who said hello to her, and when he doesn't get an answer he throws his hands up and says, so much for manners. My other brother, Zeke, just goes you owe to him and starts to talk to him quietly. I could hear Mark arguing, but Zeke just kept his hand on his shoulder. I looked at Julie, who looked like she was in panic/fix-it mode. I told her, listen, if they want to leave the kids here for a couple hours that's fine, but my brother is not welcome in my home, so she will have to be THR1 to pick them up. She thanked me, and went to my brother who now had both our other brothers talking to him. They all walk him out. I heard him say, "Kids, let's go," and his wife said, kids, I'll be back by 3. Be good. And pulled him out. I sent him a text reminding him not to speak to my child, and he is not welcome in my home until he apologizes for all the verbal abuse towards Vivi and fixes his attitude about her. My stepdad and mom arrived not long after, and when he was told what happened, Dad started to take his pipe to the porch and sat right next to the front door. Mom arranged it with Julie that she will take the kids home when she leaves, and we managed to have a good time. Today is Sunday. My mom had asked we all go this week, so we did. She did warn me Mark might be there. I warned Vivi. She said it was fine. I told Mom it's fine, but Mark needs to give Vivi a wide berth, and I told Mark via text that he is to stay away from my child. He replied, "I don't need reminders." Okay then. Service went fine. I'm not much of a church person, but Vivi had a solo and sang beautifully, so this mama is happy. There was food happening in the event hall, and Vivi asks if she can stay a while and chat with her friends. Sure, I say, have fun. All was well for about 45 minutes. I was sitting with stepdad and one of my brothers when Mark comes over to say his byes. Everyone gets a hug but me. Fine by me. He says Kitty did a good job up there. And I said, who? And I could see that it was in that moment he knew he fucked up. I don't know if he meant to say Kitty or not, and I don't rightly care. I said, who? Again, and he muttered Vivica, and I nodded and told him that is her name. Same name she's had the whole time. Julie is trying to get him to leave, and he is almost leaving when Vivi and her friends come up. She told me later she saw her uncle come up to us and not hug me, and that made her mad. So she came up to be near for support with her friends. I did tell her that I'm grown and don't need her to come to my defense, that it's my job to protect her, not the other way around, and her response? Just a nod. Kids. Mark complimented Vivi and she gave a very plain thanks, then asked if I was ready to go. I said sure if she is. Mark sent me a short text telling me I embarrassed him and our whole family with my show I put on. He's upset now because we don't need to make our issues everyone's business at church, and that I don't even go to church, so why invade his safe spaces? He called me immature and that I need to stay away from his kids so I don't teach them such poor manners. I haven't even responded. Vivi is getting dressed and we are going to my mom's for lunch. Stepdad said Mark outright refused to come when he confirmed I would be there. Mark has told our parents if I am somewhere, he won't be there. My reply? Does he promise? I told my dad, if he wants to be this way we can just go full NC. I don't have patience for this nonsense, and that also meant I am not helping out next time he needs anything. I'm out. Dad got quiet and said he gets it, but to remember that Mark's kids did nothing. He's okay if I want to stick it to Mark, but asks I don't friendly fire on THR children. I told him we'll talk when we get there. He's going to want to bring up our family vacation, of which I took care of the hotel and passes for because my job is within that industry. I'm usually the go-to for these things. Update 4. Let me get to what was new, because it's been a ride. First, let's start with Vivi. I told her about the STEM school options and she just lit up like someone had flicked on a constellation behind her eyes. We dove into application essays together. She stubbornly insisted on drafting her own statement of purpose, all earnest with her Chromebook and playlists. I ended up crying over her description of how curiosity is the best suit of armor against the world. She's not usually given to metaphors, but there you go. We sent in the applications, and the best part, she already got called for an interview at her first choice STEM magnet, which isn't even supposed to happen so soon. Apparently, her camp instructor from this summer, the inattentive one, ironically, wrote her a glowing letter after realizing the situation and owning his error. He included a statement in her file about not supporting kids who let others be hurt. The district rep told me that was a first for their paperwork. So now we're prepping with mock interviews over breakfast, and Vivi's learning how to talk about herself, a skill I still barely have. But the wildest thing to happen came from an unexpected side: the bully's parents. I got a typed, signed apology from them in the mail, with a gift card for a local bookshop attached, supposedly from their son, but let's be real, that's all them. The letter was stiff as cardboard. Still, it was the first time anyone beside me had acknowledged the harm done to Vivi. I sat on it for 2 days, unsure what to do. In the meantime, the camp called to let me know the boy was going to be attending a social-emotional learning program over the rest of the summer. Apparently, the school's lawyer quietly let it be known that if he wasn't proactively getting counseling, my legal actions could proceed. I about spit out my coffee at the news. I guess Mama Bear goes to court strikes fear and even connected hearts. Meanwhile, my brother Mark, well, let's just say fireworks continued post-Independence Day. Mark texted the entire family group chat announcing he and his family would not be attending the traditional August vacation, because some people let children hit others and glorify disrespect and violence. My sister, who's usually peacemaker, replied, okay, that's dramatic. No one is going to beg. My mother called me and, with that tight voice I know means she's mad, told me Mark's children had asked why their dad said Vivi was a stray kitten. The cousins group chat had blown up with questions and tears. So, after a lot of thought and a glass and a half of boxed wine, I sent Julie, Mark's wife, a message. Not Mark, Julie, because she's actually always cordial, just swept along for the ride. I basically said, if you or the kids still want to come, we'll make a plan for pickup. Vivi has no beef with your children and neither do I, but we both need peace at home. I'm not holding the grown-ups drama against them. Julie replied an hour later to say, thank you. She was ashamed of how things have gone, and that she and the girls would be there, without Mark, who, apparently, was now staying home to get some perspective. Her words, not mine. So, now, for the vacation, me, Vivi, my sister's kids, and Julie with Mark's kids, minus Mark. All the cousins. No toxic uncle around. I honestly felt a physical weight lift off me. You know the best part? When I told Vivi, expecting at least a twinge of sadness, she just nodded and said, sometimes people aren't ready to be part of things. We have work to do. That's the kind of backbone 13 deserves to feel. And here's an unexpected bit, church drama. I know, I'm not a church person, but I went last Sunday for Mom. The pastor, who knew a bit of our backstory, closed out the service talking about compassion and family and the kinds of wounds harsh words leave in children. He didn't name names, but everyone swiveled toward Mark. Afterward, strangers I had only nodded to before came up to me and Vivi, offering their support, their own stories of being outsiders, and more than one, their pride in how Vivi had stood her ground. One woman even pulled me aside and shared that her daughter had also been bullied by the same kid, and that she'd been too scared to press. She thanked me for not letting them close the doors quietly, but here's the twist. After service, Mark actually tried to approach Vivi for real. It was clumsy. He handed her a tiny origami cat. Vivi loves cats, especially after all these stray kitty remarks. He said, sorry for everything. I'm not good at this. Vivi said, it's okay. You don't have to be good at it. You could just try not to be mean. Then she excused herself to get a donut. The conversation was over. When Mark turned to me, I said, see? You're not the only stubborn one. We didn't hug or anything, but he did nod before heading out, which is practically a miracle in Markish. This afternoon as I'm writing, Vivi is putting together a Rube Goldberg machine, rigged to pop popcorn with the toaster and a marbles and ramp set. She's FaceTiming with one of Julie's girls, plotting joint inventions for our vacation. I got an email confirming her spot for the STEM magnet school interview. Before heading upstairs, she said, hey mama, thanks for fighting for me when all this is weird. Can we make fried plantains tonight? Which means, if you wonder, restoration is hard but happening. There is lots of healing still going on. Me, her, probably the whole family. Especially Mark. I don't know if we'll ever be close like before. That's his work as much as mine now. But I do know that, after all the struggle, my daughter walks a little taller, and so do I. For the rest of the summer, we're shifting focus, on friends, on dreams, on building things, even if they're just popcorn shooters, on being the team we've always been.